One of the biggest questions I get all the time is, do I really need to be a coder to build a serious business with AI? And I get it. Most people think you need this super deep technical background just to even get your foot in the door. Well, I'm here to show you that's just not the case. So let's dive in. I'm going to break down the exact journey of how I went from a completely non-technical background to building a thriving business in the AI space and how you can do it too.
Look, this isn't just some flashy headline. This is what's truly possible right now. And in this explainer, I'm pulling back the curtain on the entire blueprint that took me from being a recent college grad to, well, to here. My whole goal is to give you a clear, actionable game plan so you can launch your own AI venture in 2025.
My story definitely doesn't start in a computer science lab. Nope. It actually started during a corporate internship doing business intelligence. I wasn't writing a single line of code. Instead, I was deep in a no-code automation tool. And that's where I learned the fundamentals, logic, how data moves, analytics. That experience right there was the foundation. It taught me how to think in systems and how to break down really complex problems, piece by piece.
And that was the light bulb moment. I'm sitting at my desk building these pretty complex automations for internal stuff, and this thought just hits me. What if I could connect all this logical power to the creative, reasoning power of an LLM? So I did a quick search and my mind was blown. I realized this connection wasn't just some crazy idea, it was the entire field of AI automation. The tools were already out there. I dove in headfirst, experimenting with every no-code platform I could get my hands on. The obsession had officially kicked in.
But, that initial excitement? It slammed right into a massive wall. It was this technical barrier that I now realize stops so many talented, creative people before they even get a chance to build something incredible. Honestly, it felt like trying to learn a completely foreign language, and it was just totally overwhelming.
Oh man, I remember it so clearly. Opening up API documentation for the very first time and seeing words like header, authentication, and JSON body, I had absolutely no clue what I was looking at. See, coming from a place where everything was internal, I'd never had to actually connect two different apps before. This was, without a doubt, the point where it would have been easiest to just give up. And I know for a fact this is where most people do.
The big breakthrough for me was simplifying this scary, abstract idea. Just think of an API like a waiter in a restaurant. It's not the chef, it's not the kitchen, it's just the messenger. It's the person who takes your specific request to the system and brings back exactly what you asked for. Understanding this one simple analogy is the absolute key to unlocking the entire world of automation. Seriously, once this clicks, you can connect almost any two tools on the internet.
So how did I get over that hump? It wasn't by signing up for some intense coding bootcamp, I'll tell you that. It was all about focused repetition and learning the spot patterns. First, I had to stop being so intimidated by JSON. It looks crazy, but really, it's just a way to organize information. A key might be name, and the value would be John. That's literally it. Once I saw how simple it was, the fear just vanished. Second, I figured out that even the wildest automations are all built from the same 10 or 15 core building blocks. So I just mastered those. And third, I learned to see error messages not as failures, but as clues. They literally tell you what you need to fix.
People seem to think I build these perfect, flawless workflows on the first try. The truth? I see errors every single time. Multiple errors. But the thing is, because I've put in the reps, because I've seen thousands of these errors, I know exactly what to look for. It's not about being some kind of genius. It's about developing muscle memory. It's about solving problems through a sheer volume of practice. Okay, so mastering the technical side was one thing, but that was only half the battle. The second, and you could argue more powerful, piece of this whole journey was the growth engine that turned this newfound skill into an actual business. And it's something that absolutely anyone can start doing today, creating content.
When I first started my channel, I had nothing. No audience, no credibility, zero. But even when I had fewer than 500 subscribers, something absolutely incredible started to happen. People started reaching out. I was getting multiple inbound leads every single week from a channel that was, by any normal metric, tiny.
The answer wasn't some secret algorithm hack or chasing viral trends. It was a system for creating value. Instead of just showing off what I built, I explained in detail how I built it. I was basically documenting my entire learning process in public. By solving my audience's problems right in front of them, I was building instant authority and trust.
Now, to get people to even see that value, I learned fast that the first 3 seconds of any video are everything. So I developed this simple little formula to create a curiosity loop. First, I give clear context, so the viewer knows exactly what the video is about.
Second, I use a simple word like but or however to interrupt their scrolling pattern and make them pause. And third, I hit them with a contrarian or unexpected idea that just snaps them to attention. This simple structure pulls viewers right in and makes them need to know the answer.
And all of this led to a major shift in my core strategy. I completely stopped thinking about going viral. Chasing trends is just a fast track to burnout, and it almost always attracts the wrong kind of audience. So instead, I decided to focus on being an authentic, consistent resource for a very specific type of person. And that's what builds real trust. That's what attracts your ideal clients.
This right here became my flywheel. The act of creating content, of having to explain a complex topic in a simple way, forced me to understand it on a much, much deeper level. I had to become a master of the technical skills just so I could teach them effectively. My own learning journey turned into this value creation engine that built my expertise and my business at the very same time. So, with a steady stream of leads coming in, I hit the next predictable challenge. I couldn't handle it all myself anymore. And this is such a critical transition point, where you have to evolve from being a freelancer who does all the work to a business owner who builds the systems for others to do the work.
My path really followed a clear progression. I started out as a freelancer, doing every single part of every project myself. And that was essential because it gave me this deep, firsthand understanding of every role. Then I evolved into an agency owner, where the focus shifted to building repeatable systems and hiring a great team to run them. And finally, I moved into education, which allowed me to scale my expertise and help thousands of people at once, instead of just one client at a time.
As I started to scale, I learned a really painful but powerful lesson. More is not better. Better is better. When I first launched my education community, I was doing 5 live calls every week, thinking that more volume meant more value. It just burned me out. When I cut down to one single high-impact call a week, attendance went up, and so did engagement. The same was true for my courses. Just piling on more and more content just overwhelmed people. Condensing everything into 2 focused, structured paths led to way higher completion rates. It's true. Less really is more.
I completely stopped making decisions based on feelings or, who was screaming the loudest in the comments section. Instead, I started treating every single decision like a math problem. I figured out who my highest value customers were, the ones who stayed the longest and got the best results, and I started building everything specifically for them. I learned to tune out the noise and just focus on the signal from the data.
So, after all of that, what does this whole journey actually mean for you? Let's take everything we've talked about and distill it down into a simple, actionable blueprint that you can use to get started in 2025.
All right, here it is, the 5 principles that really are the foundation for everything. Number 1, you don't need to code. Start with today's amazing no-code tools and learn by actually doing. 2, build in public. Your learning process is your best marketing tool. 3, prioritize experience over revenue in the beginning. Get your reps in. The money will follow the expertise. 4, remember that less is more. Focus and structure will beat sheer volume every single time. And number 5, and this one is the most important, obsession is your superpower. Find that thing that gives you so much energy it feels like play, because that's the fuel that's going to carry you through every single challenge.
My goal here was really just to make the path a little bit clearer for you than it was for me when I started. If this explainer helped you connect some of the dots or maybe gave you a shot of inspiration, the best way to pay that forward is with a simple like or a share. You never know who in your network is just waiting for a sign to start their own journey, and this might just be it for them.
We are living in such an incredible time right now. The tools have never been more accessible, the technology is advancing at this breathtaking pace, and the demand from businesses for these exact skills is absolutely exploding. The opportunity is real, and it is here right now. So the only question left is the one you have to answer for yourself. What problem will you choose to solve? What will you build?